Long ago, in the magnificent kingdom of Vijayanagara, King Krishnadevaraya took great pride in his beautiful royal garden. The garden was filled with colourful flowers, rare plants, and fruit trees that produced the sweetest mangoes in the kingdom. Every morning, the king enjoyed walking through the garden and admiring its beauty. But one day, something strange began to happen. Several ripe mangoes disappeared overnight. Tree branches were broken. Flower beds were trampled. The gardeners were shocked. At first, they thought it was the work of a thief. But the next night, even more fruit disappeared. The damage continued for days. Soon, the gardeners became worried and reported the problem to King Krishnadevaraya. "Your Majesty," they said, "someone is sneaking into the royal garden every night and ruining everything." The king was furious. "Double the guards immediately," he ordered. That night, soldiers watched every corner of the garden. They stayed awake until sunrise. Yet, no thief was found. The mystery only grew deeper. The following morning, even more mangoes were missing. The king could not understand how anyone could enter the heavily guarded garden without being seen. Just then, Tenali Raman stepped forward with a calm smile. "Your Majesty, if you allow me one day, I will find the culprit." The king trusted Tenali Raman's wisdom. "Very well," he said, "the matter is yours." That evening, Tenali Raman carefully inspected the garden. He examined the broken branches. He studied the footprints on the ground. He observed how the fruits had been plucked. After a while, a smile appeared on his face. "This does not look like the work of a human," he said softly. The gardeners looked surprised. "If it is not a human, then who is responsible?" "You shall know tomorrow," replied Tenali Raman. As night fell, Tenali Raman brought a large basket filled with delicious bananas. He placed them in the centre of the garden. But he also prepared a clever trick. Without anyone noticing, he dusted the bananas with bright red powder. In the darkness, the powder could not be seen. However, anyone who touched the bananas would end up with red marks all over their hands and face. After setting the trap, Tenali Raman and the guards hid behind the trees and waited. Hours passed. The garden became silent. The moon shone brightly overhead. Then, a rustling sound came from the branches. Chatter, chatter. The leaves began to shake.
Suddenly, a large monkey jumped down from a mango tree. The guards stared in surprise. So this was the mysterious visitor. The monkey was clever and fearless. For many nights, it had been sneaking into the royal garden to feast on fruits. Seeing the basket of bananas, the monkey's eyes sparkled with excitement. It rushed toward the fruit. One banana after another disappeared. The monkey happily stuffed itself, while red powder covered its hands, face, and fur. But it never noticed. When it finished eating, it quickly climbed back into the trees and disappeared into the darkness. Tenali Raman smiled. The trap has worked. The next morning, the king arrived eagerly. "Where is the culprit?" he asked. Tenali Raman bowed. "Please gather all the monkeys from the nearby forests." The king was puzzled, but agreed. Soon, dozens of monkeys were brought before the royal garden. Some were small, some were old, some sat quietly, while others jumped around. The crowd watched curiously. Then, Tenali Raman pointed toward one monkey. "There!" Everyone looked. One monkey stood out from all the others. Its face, hands, and chest were covered in bright red powder. The crowd burst into laughter. "That is the thief!" The monkey looked around nervously, not understanding why everyone was staring at it. King Krishnadevaraya laughed. "Tenali Raman, once again your intelligence has solved a mystery that no one else could solve." Tenali Raman smiled. "Your Majesty, strength and anger are not always the answer. Sometimes a little observation and clever thinking reveal the truth more easily than force." The king nodded in agreement.
Instead of punishing the monkey, the king made a kind decision. A special fruit grove was planted outside the palace grounds. The monkeys were free to eat fruits there whenever they wished. As a result, the royal garden remained safe. The monkeys stayed happy, and peace returned to Vijayanagara once again. The people praised Tenali Raman for his wisdom, and the king was reminded once more that intelligence is often the greatest power of all.
A sharp mind sees what others miss, and true wisdom solves problems with kindness. See you in the next adventure on Clever Tales X.